came to play tonight. And a steal. Miller retreats to the three-point line. Weber imploring the crowd.
Kenny Smith hitting the three. Big-time plays here by Steve Smith.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another season of Open Court. We've got the band back together. We have All-Stars, we have Hall of Famers, we've got NBA champions, and just like we did last year, we throw out a few topics, and these guys run with it. And let me introduce our esteemed panel. They really need no introduction, but there is Shaquille O'Neal. Get a good look at the tie. It's the only one you'll see on the show today. Hola, big fella. Next to him is Steve Smith. You can call him Smitty. Next to him is Reggie Miller. You must call him Hall of Famer Reggie Miller.
Reggie Hoffa.
Next to him is Kenny Smith. You can call him the Jet. This is Chris Webber. You can call him C. Webb. This is Steve Kerr. You can call him Steve Kerr. And there is Charles Barkley. You can call him Collect. Any question in your mind who the best player in basketball is right now? Reg?
No question, LeBron James.
Is there any disagreement?
Not even. Ernie, and I'll say this, I don't even think it's close. I think he's better than everybody else.
I think it's close.
I
think it's close. Kevin Durant is knocking on the door.
No, well, I don't think Kevin
I think
Durant,
it's close.
I don't think it's close because when I look at, everything compares to Michael Jordan. I said, you know, Patrick Ewing was great. Karl Malone was great. You know, guys like that, you know, all these guys are great. But I said, Michael Jordan better than these guys. And when I look at LeBron James, this guy's a walking triple-double. He's the most physically gifted. Because I thought Michael Jordan had the perfect body. Like 6'6", 225, no body fat, could run like a deer and jump like a deer. LeBron James is 3 or 4 inches taller and weigh 40 pounds more. And I think if him and Michael Jordan win a foot race, it would be close. He can obviously jump like Michael Jordan. I think he is the most physically gifted player we've ever had in the NBA.
Okay, so if you're looking ahead.
Say that again.
I think that you were the most physically dominating guy.
Gifted? I'm not gifted.
Not like him. Not like him.
Stop it.
Not like him. Yeah, I've told you this. We've never had a player. I mean, I never played against Wilt Chamberlain, who was just like, oh, he's just bigger, stronger. He's just too big for one person to handle. And I put you in that same category. But I'm talking about as a all-around basketball player, a guy who can guard anybody, who can get 10 rebounds a night if he wanted to, who could get 10 assists a night if he wanted to, and could score 30 points. I don't think we've ever had a guy in the NBA like this guy.
So, to the point, when you look at who the best player on the planet has been, and it changes from time to time, and Michael at one point, and then before you're saying LeBron, I guess maybe Kobe. So now, who's going to be the guy after LeBron who's the best player on the planet? Give me 2 or 3 you can look at. I don't need the top five players, but who's the next best player?
Kevin Durant is the next in line, but I think the next guy we haven't seen yet. He's still in college. He's still in high school somewhere, developing his skill set, because the luxury that all of those guys have, even Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan was able to see Dr. J. Kobe was able to see Michael. LeBron was able to see them all. So he's kind of taken things from all of those guys, Magic and all those guys, and they encompassed it. So this guy who's in high school right now is sitting there watching LeBron James, and he's going to be saying, I could do those things. I can handle the ball like that. Or I could shoot like, because LeBron can't shoot like Kevin Durant. This kid is going to be able to shoot like Durant.
We may already have seen him. He might be in New Orleans right now, Anthony Davis. You know, looking down the road. I mean, obviously the question you asked, Ernie, was, you know, originally right now, LeBron's by far the best. I think Kevin Durant's going to get better. I think that's what's exciting about him is that, you know, as he gets stronger, he's going to develop a post game. He'll get better defensively. But Davis, what we saw at Kentucky, #1 pick, to me, he looks like Kevin Garnett defensively, but better because he's got longer arms, more of a shot blocker. Offensively, some of the stuff he did in his freshman year at Kentucky was remarkable. And when you try to project where that's going to be 5 years from now, he could be the best player in the game.
Go ahead, C-Web.
Yeah, that's interesting to hear. I'm kind of like Kenny. I don't think that player's here yet. You know, one thing about LeBron is wherever he is on the floor, he gets a double team. Wherever Chuck was on the floor, wherever Shaq was on the floor, and by him being a ball handler and being on the floor with that command is something. You know, what about the basketball IQ? Is there somebody in the game with that now? You know, watching LeBron, a lot of these kids are really learning, wow, once I get double team on this, to look for the guy in the corner. You know, I think he's a mix between Magic and Jordan, and I don't know if there's another player after Durant that's in line for that right now that we've seen.
No, I think it's Durant now. I think because we start looking at the competition he's playing against. It won't be the Michael Jordan and the Kobe Bryant competition, but I think as of right now, after LeBron, you got another 10 years of Kevin Durant, the way he's scoring the basketball, and I think the way he's starting to pay attention to details on defense. You have to put Kevin Durant the best on the planet because virtue of who he's playing against right now.
Then, Shaq, how long will LeBron be the best player on the planet?
I think for about 5, 6, 7 more years, or as long as he wants to. You know, when you talk about LeBron and you put him in the category of a Mike, those guys did it all. You know, like Chuck said, rebound, he can score, he's a great passer, he's a great leader. When you look at Durant, he can only do one thing, and he does it great. You know, he's a great scorer. So I'm going to have to go with a big man being the next best. I'm going to have to go with Blake Griffin. Because what he did in his second year was remarkable. Yes, he needs to work on his defense. Yes, he needs to work on his shot.
Best on the planet, Blake Griffin?
Best on the planet. I mean, because, you know, this is going to be his 3rd year, and he does need to work on those things. And when LeBron first came in, you know, it took him 4 to 5 years for us to recognize him as a great player. Same thing with Kobe. Kobe's first 2 years, he wasn't the Kobe Bryant that he is now. So I'm going to give him, like, you know, 2 or 3 more years, and then I'm going to go with Blake Griffin.
Well, I think the toughest part of being the best on the planet when you're the big guy is sometimes the game with 10 seconds to go and the ball is on the other end of the court and you got to get it from one end to the other, and sometimes it doesn't get to you. Where with Jordan, with Kobe, with LeBron, he can get it from end to end. So to me, that's always going to make you the best player on the floor, because at times you might not get it if we trap the guard in the backcourt. So to be the best on the planet, you could be the you could be the MVP, you could be the most dominant, but it's going to be tough to be the best on the planet because you can't get the ball all the time when the game's on the line when you're a big guy.
So
let me say this one thing, though, about this guy, LeBron James. I always tell people, I never thought that I would compare. As great as I think Kobe Bryant has been, I never thought I would compare another player to Michael Jordan. But if we go back a little bit, we covered LeBron's first game on TNT. For that guy to come into the NBA at 18 years old, and he has really never missed a beat. To come into the NBA at 18, I look at all these great players we got here. We couldn't have do what he did at 18. Even as great as Shaquille, he's the best player in this group here. I don't think he could have came into the NBA at 18 years old and dominated like LeBron did. I mean, I think LeBron almost had a triple-double that first game against Sacramento, and he's never missed a beat. From the day he came into the NBA at 18 years old, I actually think it's just amazing the stuff that he's accomplished in this short period of time.
Charles, I'm sorry. What's scary is listening to everyone up here, we're scratching to find another player that's the future or the greatest, and it's tough. Even when we all played against Michael Jordan, clearly Michael Jordan was the best player for that 12 or 13 run, but he didn't always win the MVP. Charles got it, Karl Malone got it a couple times, but it's interesting because, or maybe it's sad, it's hard to find who that next player is, because is he really out there? Because looking down the road, to me, it's going to be a two-man race for the MVP for the next 5 or 6 years, Kevin Durant or LeBron James.
Ernie, it's also interesting that nobody's brought up Dwight Howard's name, and I think he's kind of fallen off the map because of the injury and because of all the stuff that he put that franchise through in Orlando. But that guy has the potential, if he comes back healthy, to be the biggest difference maker after LeBron in terms of just on the floor, one game, who can control the action and dominate the game. It's Dwight Howard, but he's fallen a long way the last year.
I pose the question, do you guys think LeBron can surpass Michael at the end of the day?
I think if he wins,
In what?
I think
As the greatest ever.
I think it depends on
Who's
how
asking the question?
It depends on how many championships he wins. To be
Right.
honest with you, because
What if he wins 6?
if he wins 6, you know, I always told people, man, Michael Jordan. It was an honor and pleasure to play against Michael Jordan, but I've never seen a guy like this guy right here.
Like LeBron?
LeBron.
If he wins 6 championships,
Yeah.
We're assuming he's going to win another
But see, I don't,
4 more
well, we're
MVPs
not,
and another 4
listen,
more
we're
finals
sitting here
MVP.
talking about this.
That's what I'm saying.
This to me is going to be a great NBA season because the Steve Nash age thing, the Dwight Howard back thing, that Laker team, if they can stay healthy, because they're going to be imposing if they are healthy. Like I say, you don't never know how backs are going to react. Steve Nash is 40 years old. If they can be healthy, because the only way to beat Miami is to beat them up inside. You're not going to out-perimeter Miami. That's why I thought Oklahoma City couldn't beat them, because they're a perimeter team. The only way to beat the Miami Heat, they got a very small team, and you can dominate them down low. If Dwight Howard is healthy and Pau Gasol down low, the Lakers, to me, are the best team on paper.
Steve,
We're gonna-
you got to stand up for Michael on this.
Hold it. We have
I'll
got to,
stand up if you won't.
we have got to take a break. We are going to talk more about team-wide in the course of this show, but that's kind of an unscientific look into the crystal ball. We do that well here on Open Court.
Whatever happened to someone has to beat the champ? And right now, the Heat are the defending champions. Someone's going to have to beat them.
Yeah, but
we all talked
Michael
for
Jordan
20
didn't get
we
traded.
we all talked
In the
for 20
offseason.
minutes about
Kobe
LeBron
never
James
got traded.
being the best player on the planet.
Yeah.
How can you match up with this
Dwight
guy?
Howard got
Now
traded.
Now they're the 3rd best team to possibly win a championship. Someone's going to have to beat Miami.
Hey, welcome back to Open Court. Moments ago, Charles was talking about the Los Angeles Lakers and the changes they've made and the improvements that they've made on that team. The fascination with the NBA. We're coming off this lockout season. Now we got a full year ahead of us. We got some storylines people are grabbing on. How much does Steve Nash have left, Steve Kerr?
Oh, I think he's got enough left to make a huge impact this year. Steve is the best conditioned athlete I've ever seen in my life. He plays a game that is going to translate even as he gets older. A little bit like John Stockton, who was effective all the way till 40 years old. But the fact that he's going to be playing with Dwight Howard, which will really help him defensively in pick-and-roll situations, with Kobe, who he can throw the ball to at the end of games, with Gasol, who he's going to have a great rapport with offensively. I think Nash and the Lakers are the most intriguing story of the year.
We still have the Steve Nash, Amari Stoudemire dynamic at work in Phoenix. What will the Steve Nash, Dwight Howard dynamic look like in Los Angeles, Shaq?
You know, one thing about Steve Nash is he's a master controller. So, he's going to control the game. He's going to control the tempo. He's definitely going to control the offense. Dwight is a pick and roll player. So, he's going to get 6 to 8 easy points just by coming out the pick and roll with Steve Nash. And like, Steve Kerr said, defense-wise in the pick and roll, he's going to be there blocking shots. If they can stay healthy, like Chuck says, they have a shot.
Is it Oklahoma City, L.A. Lakers, case closed for the West?
Yes.
Wow, you sounded just like Shaq.
Yes, I think it is.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah,
They got to play the games.
I agree. Like with Nash being at the Lakers, and we haven't even talked about Gasol. You got 2 players now that could post up, you pick and roll, and it just translates into Nash's game when he walks into that 3 down there. So I say it's the Lakers. I say if I'm OKC, I'm kind of panicked right now, thinking, wow, these guys have 2 beasts, because you're going to free up Pau Gasol too, and the defense. A lot of people have played fake Matador defense with Dwight Howard back behind him. Nash is going to try, and Dwight Howard's going to be behind him. He'll be okay.
I say Pau Gasol is going to benefit the most. But I posed the question to Kobe this summer. Has he ever played with a guy that's going to dominate the basketball outside the triangle? Will he have to change his game? And you guys know his obvious answer was no. But it's going to be an adjustment for him because there's going to be more spot-ups unless he's going to get the basketball and tell Steve Nash to get out of the way. But it's going to be an adjustment. It's an adjustment for me when I play with Mookie, being able to learn how to play without the basketball. So I think that's the one question I'm looking at, Kobe playing without the basketball and dominating it.
But you talk about this too in watching your career. You love the 1-2 pick and roll. You always talk about it. You talked about it for OKC. So I look at like what's going to be positive out of this. Just think of Kobe being able to set a pick on Nash or vice versa on a 2 pick and roll and to be able to go down to the post now. So I just think, I hear what you're saying, but I just think Kobe's going to find a way to eat extra off.
If Kobe wants to tie Michael in championships, he's going to have to relinquish a little bit of that control.
I agree.
And Steve Nash is going to have to accept that challenge of running this Laker team because in pick and roll situation, and I agree with Shaq, I think Powell is going to be the huge beneficiary of having Steve Nash on this team.
That was me, Reggie, not Shaq.
That's all right. I should have known.
Steve, I have a question for you. Can the Lakers win running a regular offense? Because, you know, he has 5, but he has 5 running the triangle.
Right.
And me and you know both, you know, we know how beneficial the triangle is. So,
Yeah.
So my question is, can they win it running a regular offense?
Well, I'm going to go back to what Steve Smith was talking about. You know, Kobe has to relinquish the ball, but also Steve Nash is going to be running an offense with 2 post players. And the only time in Phoenix that he had a postman was when you were there for a year and a half. But the rest of the time, the floor was spread. He had free reign, high pick and roll, all kinds of room. There's not nearly as much room down there anymore. And so they're going to have a transition period for sure. I agree with Reggie. You know, Steve Nash is going to be shooting more spot-up shots. He's not going to have the ball as much. Kobe, same thing. So they've got to figure this whole thing out. And they're going to run a new offense, too. They brought in Eddie Jordan. They've talked about running some of the Princeton stuff, which maybe doesn't fit their personnel, so they're going to have to adapt that.
Did Princeton ever win a national championship? But I don't know why everybody liked that offense.
I always say, every time I hear that,
I never wanted to. Like, why would you? I'd run the Kentucky offense, North Carolina, UCLA.
Every time I hear that Princeton offense, I want my accountant from Princeton, not basketball. I agree totally with you. I don't want no basketball from Princeton. I actually disagree with y'all on the Pau Gasol thing. I think Dwight Howard is going to benefit more playing with Steve Nash because Dwight Howard is the most athletic big man we have in the NBA. He's going to get up and down the court. He's going to be playing the power forward position. He's going to get, obviously,
playing the power forward position?
Well, I think he's better. He's more comfortable because Pau Gasol is a better post-up player. But on the pick and roll with Dwight Howard, and I think he's going to get another 10 points a game on the fast break because not many big guys.
How do you, when you put him in pick and roll, because he can't shoot the basketball, he can only roll.
Well,
he's Blake Griffin.
But that's why
you throwing the alley-oop.
He's going to be getting a lot of layup dunks because, listen, who would you rather have posting up? Pau Gasol instead of Dwight Howard. So instead of running the pick and roll with Powell, I would run my
a lot of teams are going to pre-rotate when you put Dwight Howard in that pick and roll.
Yeah, but it's going to help Pau Gasol in that situation.
Well, who's licking his chops the most probably is Russell Westbrook. You're like, y'all talking about all of this, but you got a guy now almost 40 trying to guard me on the perimeter.
And there goes the problem.
That's my biggest concern with Steve Nash because it used to be the power forward position, but I think now the point guard is the toughest position in the NBA. You're playing against a terrific point guard every night. And a guy's 40, first of all, he wasn't a good defender when he was 30. Steve Nash has never been a good defender. And now he's 40, and Steve says he's in great shape. He's in great shape for a 40-year-old. You know, so, but playing the point guard every night in the NBA, I think that's going to be the biggest test for Steve Nash. Can he stay out of foul trouble? And also, are those other guys going to be in foul trouble all the time trying to help him? That, to me, is going to be the biggest question with the Lakers.
One-word answer here as we continue to move. Lakers or Thunder win the West? One word.
Thunder.
Thunder.
Spurs.
Oh, man.
Lakers.
I'm pointing at
Thunder.
Chris. Don't you answer, Shaq. Okay.
Thunder.
Lakers.
Ernie, that's not a fair question.
One word
One team.
After you say your one word, you can say it in a break.
Okay.
One word.
Idiots.
One word.
Lakers.
Okay. Now, where does Miami fit in this whole equation? When you talk about NBA champions, or you're talking about Eastern Conference champions, are the Lakers or the Thunder good enough to beat the Miami Heat?
The Lakers, I mean, the Miami Heat, to me, honestly, has a chance to be the third best team in the NBA and still win it. Because, you know, you could get, it's all about matchups. And then all of a sudden you get to the finals and the Lakers aren't who they were. And the problem that the Lakers will always have is guys like Mario Chalmers, guys like Shane Battier might have big nights against them because those are still two positions that defensively a lot of times you can get buckets at. So they could be the third best team throughout the whole regular season to me and still win it.
Whatever happened to someone has to beat the champ? And right now, the Heat are the defending champions. Someone's going to have to beat them.
Yeah, but
we all talked
Michael Jordan didn't get traded.
We all talked for 20 minutes about LeBron
Kobe never
James
got traded.
being the best player on the planet.
Yeah.
And how can you match up with this
Dwight
guy?
Howard got
Now
traded.
Now they're the third best team to possibly win the championship. Someone's going to have to beat Miami. And picking up Ray Allen and Rashard Lewis, two good guys to spread the floor so Dwayne Wade and LeBron James can operate, someone's going to have to beat Miami.
I picked the Thunder to win the West. Obviously, if the Lakers have the better chance to beat the Heat because of Dwight's dominance. But I just think it's going to take a year for the Lakers to get a chance to win that championship. I have the Miami Heat still win the championship because if you don't have a dominant center, you're not going to beat them.
I'm going to go with Steve. Miami wins the championship. But if the Lakers make it, I think they can beat Miami.
Ernie.
I agree totally. I just agree totally. The Lakers should win it, but I think OKC will get past them because of their system. But Miami, we saw them struggle when they had big guys inside, and so I think LeBron is that great to change the game.
So wait, you're saying Lakers should win it, but OKC is going to win the West?
Well, yeah, because this is what I'm saying. I'm just saying the Lakers should win it, but I think they need a year to get better, to understand each other. OKC still is coming off the momentum of last year, but I just think it's going to be so hard to beat that system of Miami now that they know who they are, got shooters in the corner, like you said, with those guys running down.
I don't know if the Lakers have a year because of the age of Kobe and Nash. I don't know if they have much time to mess around. I do think Miami's going to be better this year. You think of the pressure on that team the last couple of years.
Right.
LeBron obviously made this huge breakthrough. The team now they're playing with house money. I think when you win the first championship, it's easier after that. The monkey's off your back.
You think it's easier after the first one?
I do. I think
got a few.
I think the first, once you win the first one, there's a deeper level of confidence.
I think it's a deeper level of confidence, but I think overall, then I call it the fat cat-itis, where you have some guys who weren't stars all of a sudden become stars. And are they able to handle that? Like guys like Shane Battier and Adonis Haslam all of a sudden going to have TV commercials. And will they?
No, they're not.
Will they work? Will they work as hard? You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
You got character guys, though. You got.
I'm just. Hey, we had character guys, and we had some guys very Hollywood walking in with shades for the first time, cigars after. I'm like, well, you got a cigar? You don't even smoke. Oh, I don't light it. It's like, what are you doing? Like, we had guys doing that after the first championship when they first got some fame.
But you guys won a second one.
Until Clyde came in.
Chuck will close it out.
Ernie, the only team that can beat the Miami Heat is the Los Angeles Lakers, because you're not going to beat them shooting jumpers like Oklahoma City unless you have one big guy down low, and the Lakers have two. You're not going to beat the Miami Heat unless you physically beat them up. I like them getting Ray Allen and Rashard Lewis, but they are the same as the LeBron and Dwayne. They're perimeter players. The only way to beat the Heat, you go back to the Dallas team. Dirk and Tyson Chandler beat them up down low. Sean Marion. That's how you beat the Heat. The Lakers are the only team. The Oklahoma City Thunder are going to be exactly the same team if they get to the finals again. They're going to be perimeter-oriented, and they're not going to beat the Miami Heat. The only team can beat the Lakers can beat the Heat.
We're going to take a little break, get these fat cats some stogies, some shades. The discussion continues after this.
5 minutes, he got shades on.
I like accidental or coincidental super teams. I don't like, super teams that are forced. When you're in the prime of your career, you can't say, hey, even though I went to Lakers, I want to go play with C-Webb. You can't do that.
And with
wrong. We didn't do it. The guys before us didn't do it.
Hey, we're back with more Open Court. When you look at the so-called super teams that have been constructed in the NBA, is that a good thing or a bad thing, Chris Webber?
Oh, man. Wow. It depends on what era. When Chuck, I wanted Chuck to win the championship. When he got with Clyde Drexler and Hakeem as a fan, I thought it was awesome. When Shaq, got with his guys, when K.
That wasn't a super team. Then.
Yeah,
but it was a
super
start,
old
though.
team.
The super old team.
Hey, Chris, between me, Clyde, and King, I almost passed out a couple times from being gay in the locker room.
No, but it's just a different league, Jay, and I think it's something that I'm getting adjusted to. Because when I played, it was like, I didn't want to play with a certain guy. I wanted to try to beat him or lose against him, and so I think it could be good for the NBA. But I think time is going to tell now that we've seen Miami, and it's good for certain teams, the Lakers. But I think it's hard to tell.
We grew up with super teams. I just think they weren't called that because the Boston Celtics with Bird.
But it was through drafts, though. It wasn't
through drafts.
Well, no.
Right.
Kevin McHale was a six-year draft.
No, Robert Parrish was a trade from Golden State.
Okay,
So,
but three guys didn't get together in the huddle and say, listen, call your agent, I'm going to call mine.
Exactly.
We all going to go together, and let's recruit our boy.
But there wasn't
playing
free
AAU the
agency.
game.
There wasn't
No,
free
that was-
agency
That was
back
free
then.
agency, man.
It was not like
Listen,
it was.
Yes.
There wasn't free
Kenny, come on,
agency
Kenny.
like it was.
Webb is
because you
100% correct.
No, you were
Nobody-
restricted
listen,
free agents.
the Lakers-
Your team had the right to sign you back, and nobody was going to match
Listen.
it. It was collusion under the table by the owners at that time.
If you look
where
at,
we wouldn't take your
if you
players.
go back and look at the
Lakers,
the Lakers made trades.
that was a super team.
Yeah, because they made good draft picks.
Okay, but time out. You don't remember Magic Johnson calling Bob McAdoo and saying, come play with us in the summer for less money?
That's different.
That's not different.
That
It's the
is
same
different.
thing.
But they
Come
already
play with
had-
us for
but
less
it's not
money.
three
Bob
guys.
McAdoo
No,
led
it's
the
different.
league
No,
in
but
scoring.
it's not
He was
LeBron,
coming off the bench.
D-Wade.
He
It's
led
not the best.
He was the MVP of the league at one time.
I
and
think
now
the-
he's coming off the bench for the Lakers like he's a scrub.
No,
Are you
at
kidding
the end
me?
of his career.
It doesn't matter. It's
These
still
guys
called.
who are trying to manipulate the system.
It's not manipulation.
Yes, it is.
I'm a free
Look, I will
agent.
say this: teams. Look, Orlando did not have to make the trade.
Exactly.
To the Lakers.
They made a super team.
Look, I'm going to get in
Memphis
trouble
didn't
for
have to
saying
give
this.
Pau Gasol to them.
The question is, are these super teams good
Good
or
or
bad
bad?
for the league? Look, I'm probably going to take heat for this. The commissioner, I'm sure, likes it because ratings are going through the roof. Now that you've got Dwight Howard teamed with Kobe and Powell, you've got LeBron James, you've got Carmelo Anthony in a big market, you got Derrick Rose in a big market. So it's good for ratings. Is it good for the league in a whole? No, I don't think so. Me playing 18 years in a small market, why doesn't Dwight Howard ever want to come to Indiana? It hurts the Milwaukee.
But you're the only superstar who actually played there.
But why? Look, it's not good for the league. What
No one ever's
What
done
makes the NFL great is Aaron Rodgers, the best player, is in Green Bay. When LeBron James was with Cleveland, how many times did TNT and ESPN go to Cleveland? They were a max-out team in a small market. It's not good as a whole for the smaller team markets.
But Oklahoma City made the NBA final last year.
Through drafts. Through
Yeah,
Sam
drafts.
Presti, through the draft,
Yeah.
they are a good team. Those guys didn't, as we're saying, collusion and getting together and say, let's all go to Oklahoma City and play.
I don't think anything wrong with guys being a free agent, serving their team, and when their contract is up, they decide where they want to go and play and what city they want to be in. I'd rather live in certain cities than live in
Let me ask you a
Cleveland
question.
or Indiana.
No,
That's not my question.
But Kenny, I think what you're saying, the question is it bad for the league?
No, it's not. It's always been. When I
I
was
think
growing
it's
up,
bad
the
for the league.
Lakers or the Celtics were going to win. Nobody else had a chance.
Yeah, but they did
Kenny-
it the right way, Kenny.
Why is that right? It's not right. It's still a super
Kenny,
team.
I don't think. Listen, if,
Red Auerbach
like,
and those guys
did
were able to
anybody say
manipulate
anything
the
bad
system.
about Oklahoma City? We're gonna draft well. We don't.
Charles,
want-
it wasn't diluted either. We have 30 teams now.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but guys
Aaron,
never
is it a
got.
cop out for the
Hey,
players?
listen,
like, let's ask a real question. You know, is it a cop out for the players?
That's my
Is it a
point.
cop-out?
There's a lot of
What are you
prideful.
copping out?
There's a lot of prideful.
Because he stayed in Indiana 18
There's a
years,
lot of
every year,
prideful
you don't have
guys
to go through it.
that are on this stage right here.
It's easy to jump.
Let me ask Shaq this. Would you have ever called Charles up and say, hey, come help me win a championship? I need you. That's basically what we're saying that
No,
these
but-
guys did.
okay, but-
all right?
but-
I would never have called Michael up and say, hey, can I come play with
Okay,
you?
but hold on. In the middle of his career, beginning of his career, no. At the end of his career, like I did Karl Malone, yes. You know,
and I have no problem with
Yeah,
that.
in the
yes.
I get
At
that.
the end of the
career,
no
yes.
problem. At the end
Nash
of
at
the
the
career.
at the beginning of the career, the middle of the career, when I'm
You
trying
wanted to
beat
beat his
him-
head in.
Exactly.
You wanted to go against
Exactly.
the best.
Make it
Okay,
first.
that's the
Exactly.
point.
What's the difference?
Exactly.
These guys are in their prime, teaming up, and I would never. I wanted to beat Michael Jordan.
no, but
I don't
I
want to team with
understand.
him.
You know what the
I don't
difference
care the
is?
beginning, middle, or end.
It is a big difference. I'm gonna just tell you.
I'm gonna tell you what
The difference-
everybody,
the difference
every
in
one
my
of y'all
opinion,
did
though,
it.
just the difference between my opinion. You're talking to guys that had to lead their team and it was on their back. So when I was in Sacramento, it was me or it was going to play with Tim Duncan. I felt at that time, no, I want to play against him and I want to win it without him. Now, that's a hell of a gamble because you didn't win it.
Four championships you would have been walking around with.
That's right.
No
But
question.
That's right. But see, unlike you, it was my decision to say, this is my team. And if I don't beat him, then the hell with it. But I made the decision. So I could have called and done that. And at times, when you get older, you may regret that. You may want a ring. I'm not saying it's great or it's honorable. All I'm saying is that I think you're looking at it from a different position.
No, I'm looking at it from
I
a
think
perspective.
two
I'm saying that that's fine what you did, but it's also fine what they're doing because it's no difference.
the
what
prime of your
Charles is
career, though.
saying.
But we're talking about
What's
for
the
the
difference?
league.
But what's the difference of Charles
think
in
Bob
the prime of
McAdoo
his
was at the prime of his
career?
career.
What's the difference him going, I don't want to play in Philly no more? What's the
going,
difference?
Charles? No,
There's
I
no
bet-
difference.
that's not-
Him leaving.
But
I don't want to play here no more. And then he gets to Phoenix with Kevin Johnson and the rest of them. Like, there's no difference of you saying you want to leave and be
But
traded.
who is them? Kevin Johnson was just an all-star.
But he didn't know
He
he
wasn't
didn't leave.
That's what
But
I'm
he
saying. He didn't play with
he
Hall
was
of
still
Famers
the
in their
man
prime.
when he went to
He didn't want
We're
Phoenix.
talking about people. If we're talking
No,
about
but
we're talking about people that play with Hall of Fame.
It was like 7 teams trying to get me when I left Philly. I never said I want to go. I says I just need some help. I never said no. I want to go to Chicago or L.A.
You needed help. He got help. LeBron went and said, I'm going to get help.
No, he
Dwayne
didn't.
Wade's
No,
gonna
LeBron
provide
didn't
help.
It's not
get
the
help.
same.
LeBron went and
to
helped.
LeBron went to the, yeah, I mean,
LeBron went and helped. He didn't get help. He could have recruited people to Cleveland.
it just seems like what you're saying, too,
All right.
is that
I wouldn't have.
if you give a guy like the mailman a shot late in his career, his last chance, is a different thing than having the face of two franchises, Chris Bosh and LeBron James, call the face of the franchise or team up with the face of the franchise in Miami and say, guys, we're getting
After
together to play."
back-to-back
Yeah.
MVPs,
Yeah.
Ernie.
So,
and you leave home. You're the MVP. I said, I'm the MVP. I'm playing at home. I'm not leaving my home after I won back-to-back MVPs. You guys can come play with me. I'm leaving
And
my.
sometimes you got to buy a new house, man.
Yeah.
Like, look, I gave y'all 7, 8 years.
I look at this
When
question.
we weren't able to do it, sayonara. I put my service in. Y'all tried to do it. It didn't work. I like the way you did it. I'm not saying,
But I agree with you. I
go
want
with
you to know
your.
that.
I'm more like
Could
your
LeBron
club.
have gotten Chris
I'm more
Bosh
like
to
that.
come to Cleveland?
No, he's not gonna come to
Really?
Cleveland. No, he's not coming.
Come on. He could have got Bosh to go to Cleveland.
Let me pose
He
this
couldn't
question.
get anybody there in 7
Jenny,
years.
Jenny.
Come on, man.
In this era, though, if you're LeBron and D Wade, don't you agree that it's similar type of players?
Yes.
You'd have never done it.
Exactly.
Not in the same position.
Big
I'm
to
not
go get
saying
another
I'm not
point
from
guard.
that cloth, but I
know,
understand what they did. There's nothing wrong with
I
it.
understand.
No
what
one
you're
says
saying.
nothing
wrong
wrong
with
with
it.
it. We
You
say
know
it's
it.
good
Please.
for
Leave
the
Kirk.
athlete.
No.
I want to go back to the original question. We've gotten a little sidetracked here.
Yes.
Are the super teams good for the NBA? I say absolutely, because ratings are off the charts. When the best thing that happened to the NBA in the last 5 years is LeBron going to Miami. But every single talk show host, every radio show, that's all they talk about. Ratings have skyrocketed, which means sponsorship money goes up, which means, you know, the TV packages for the league are all of a sudden more lucrative. The Lakers and the Celtics and the Bulls in the 80s and early 90s, best thing that happened to the NBA. Is it fair to Indiana? No. Is it fair to Milwaukee? No, they're at a huge disadvantage. But the reality is the NBA is not the NFL. You can't have great NBA teams
Why
popping
not?
up because there's only about 10 guys in the whole league who make a difference.
First of all, Steve,
Don't tell the
let me
fans.
hold on for a second. First of all, you're wrong. Let me tell you why. The Pistons won 2 championships. The Rockets won 2. The Spurs won 4. The Bulls won 6. The Celtics won a lot. The Lakers won a lot. So it ain't like it's been one or two teams winning. There's been plenty of teams. Think about that. All those teams, San Antonio, small market. Detroit's not a huge market.
I didn't say anything about small market.
No, but I'm just saying, like, those teams, like, we just going to draft or make good trades.
And I totally agree with you on that.
But
San Antonio had David Robinson and Tim Duncan.
Yes.
Detroit had Joe Dumars and Isaiah Thomas. So it can happen in Oklahoma City. It can happen in San Antonio. My point is, it's not the NFL where a team that's in last place can all of a sudden win the Super Bowl the next year. In the NBA, there's about 10 players in the league that are good enough to transcend everybody and make their team a championship contender. There's only 10.
But they all want to play with one another.
And that's their right. They're free agents.
So that means you're going to have, out of 10
5,
guys,
7 years,
but out
whatever.
of 10 guys, that's 3 or 4 teams.
Okay, your year,
so what happens to the other 26?
No, but your year when you went to the NBA Finals, how many teams had a realistic chance of winning the NBA championship? 5 or 6. It's going to be 5 or 6 no matter what. And then you're going to have to grow in the draft like Oklahoma did. And there's going to be teams that come up. In our era, the Milwaukee Bucks were one of those teams. But you have to. It's only every year going to be 4 or 5 teams that realistically have a chance.
And they might be small market teams. They might be big market teams.
But not if you start putting super teams together.
Ernie.
Yes, last word in this segment.
I like accidental or coincidental super teams. I don't like, super teams that are forced. When you're in the prime of your career, you can't say, hey, even though I'm with the Lakers, I want to go play with C-Webb. You can't do that.
And with
wrong. We didn't do it. The guys before us didn't do it. All the super teams that you guys are talking about were accidental or coincidental through drafts and through trades.
Bad management. I'm not waiting on that.
Not forced.
If I was
not forced.
I'm going to get mine.
And with that,
you're a greedy player,
that doesn't surprise me. And with that, we go to break. More Open Court.
All about yours.
Right around the bend.
Always. I'm going to get 11 other guys theirs, too.
7 seconds are left. Baruchel with a high screen. Here goes Kyrie. A spin to the paint. Flipped it over the left hand, and he scores!
Extra pass. Back to Ricky Rubio. Behind the back. Ricky Rubio!
Hey, welcome back to Open Court. We all, I assume, have League Pass, right? Got that on your television set, Kenny?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
And my computer.
And very good. So on a night we're not working, and you've got League Pass on, who's the one guy? Who's the one guy you've got to watch? Who's your League Pass guy?
Actually, in fairness, I don't look at it like that.
Oh, that's
no,
because
hold on for a second. Let me make my point, Ernest.
We're
please.
trying to.
Like everybody want to watch the great players. The number one thing I look at is it going to be a good game. I don't want to see a great player just maul a bad team. I kind of look like, let me see a good game tonight. That's what I look at.
Okay, ask the question again.
So, guys, on a given night, who's your League Pass guy? Who's the one player you've got to see?
There's a question. Answer it.
I'm going to go with Blake Griffin.
Why?
He's a big man. He's exciting, and I like to see big men flourish.
Imagine that.
When we play, strike 2, strike 3.
That's more than strike 2 and strike 3 in check.
On the air while the people watching that strike 2.
Hey, how many days did we work last year?
20,
we
25,
or me?
30.
No, how many nights did we work together?
Let's say 100.
100?
Yeah, it seemed like
98 times we heard, you got to get the ball to your big man, let him flourish.
Strike 2.5.
And also, you either live by the jump shot or die by the jump shot.
Exactly.
And the Miami Heat are only going as far as LeBron James will carry it.
Exactly.
Okay, so who's the League Pass guy you like to watch?
Blake Griffin, like I was saying before, I was really interrupted by watermelon face over there. So I like to see big guys flourish because, for many years this, league has been taken over by guards. So, me watching an exciting big man.
Blake Griffin explodes on Gasol.
That can run, finish, has swag, has style. Blake Griffin is my guy.
Who's your guy, Reg?
Well, if you're going by your question, I want to be entertained. And I like guys that can put the ball in the basket. 2 come to mind. I love watching Kevin Durant because I know he's going to get you buckets in a variety of ways. And Carmelo Anthony. Sometimes he takes a lot of knock because he doesn't play at the other end. But I want to be entertained. And the way those two guys are able to put the ball in the basket and entertain me because they score in such a variety of ways, Carmelo and the Durantula.
Do we not entertain you?
In this conversation, not really.
Smitty.
I thought we should cue up Gladiator now. Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained?
For me, it's Kevin Durant. I think close second is Chris Paul. I mean, guys that I want to be entertained. Might not be the best player in the game as LeBron James, but if I'm going to turn on, me and my kids, we're going to watch Kevin Durant and Chris Paul.
I go.
When you're not watching old Kenny Smith highlights on.
Yeah, that's tough. I go on the school of thought of Charles first. So I look.
Y'all been together too long,
like chicken.
Jeez.
I'm just serious.
It is.
Want some honey mustard with that
That's a good question.
But if there's
Let me say something
I
real
do
quick.
look at it like that.
Let me say
I'm not
something
gonna
real
watch
quick.
LeBron play against
Hold on. Let me say, you guys have picked out some wonderful furniture here, too.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
really nice, you and Charles.
Oh, thank you. But, no, I get what he's saying. But
We do.
if everyone had good games,
Got you.
I would take the game that he was hurt last year. Derrick Rose was playing it. He was my favorite player to watch when he was playing, when they were playing a good team. I'm not going to watch him against a scrub team.
Kevin Durant and the Memphis Big Fellas playing together. I like watching Gasol and Zebo bang down there. So if those two guys are playing, or Kevin Durant, I like watching play.
Minnesota became my league pass team last year.
Are you serious?
I swear to God.
Ricky Rubio.
And Kevin Love, watching them work together. And I love point guards. Cleveland was another team. You know, usually we always have great games on TNT. So if there's a TNT game on, it's automatically a great matchup. But
First of all, if we have a game on TNT, you working.
the second one. You guys are working both.
Okay.
You know, I'm going to the second one. But, you know, on a Tuesday night league pass, I'm picking out Kyrie Irving, Ricky Rubio, Chris Paul's another one. I mean, just point guards who control the action are fun to watch.
And Charles, you're sticking by the compelling game is what gets you to the set.
Well, you know, all these guys have great points. I mean, obviously, I want to watch Kevin Durant, LeBron, Chris Paul, Blake play. But like I say, I want to see a good game, to be honest with you, Ernie. I do. That's to me, because I don't want to see a great player and his team just maul a bad team. I want to see a good game.
We're going to be back with more on Open Court in just a moment. Who's your league pass guy?
Please play it fast. Up and down. You run us, everybody runs. Work their tails off. Gentlemen, let's go win a big game. Win on three, please. 1, 2, 3.
Are we having fun yet? It's not supposed to be easy. Penetrate hard. Good passes. Shoot with confidence. I want some baskets.
If Shaq play in Mexico, can we put it on NBA TV?
Hey, Chuck, we might have to go NBA TV 2 for that.
ESPN 3. ESPN 3.
That's strike two. Get to three.
Just going to open up an entire new network for it.
Actually, we probably can put that on 2 TV.
Anything you'd like to get off your chest just as we get things going today, Charles?
I'm not playing in Mexico. So. That was rumors. It's not going to happen.
Welcome back with a reminder you can catch more Open Courts on NBA.com. This is kind of the lightning round. This is a short answer. You can give a little bit of an explanation, but it has to be pretty short. All right. What current coach would you like to play for, Shaq?
I'm going to go with Greg Popovich. My original answer would be Doc Rivers, but I already played for Doc Rivers. I would like to play for Coach Popovich because you look at his teams, you know, even though they had a great big man, Tim Duncan, never really had a lot of super talent around him. But the way he gets those guys to gel together and win 4 championships. So my answer is Greg Popovich.
Exactly the kind of
22 seconds.
Exactly the kind of timing we're looking for. That was exquisite. Smitty.
Doc Rivers for me. I think he's the one coach that I would love to play for. I think he played the game. He's been around the game, and the way he relates to players has to be Doc Rivers for me.
Rich.
We'll say yes and yes, but I'm going to throw another name out there. I love George Karl, especially for a shooter to get out there, Right behind that arc, I'm going to say George Karl.
And that's why I was going to say George Karl as well. I just think that he squeezes, to me, the most out of guys with Popovich that maybe just good players, he makes them a little bit better. And great players, he continues to make them greater.
I thought maybe you'd like to play for your old teammate, Scotty Brooks.
Nah.
That would be interesting.
We could go one-on-one.
Yeah. I like the fact you said George Karl, especially for a team. But I think personally, just in covering Doc Rivers last year, the way he just inspired guys on the team, it was like he still was playing out there.
I think y'all showed up and think we're the big bad Celtics, and they're just going to roll over. But they ain't going to roll over. You got to go get it.
And that passion, and when I saw it, Doc Rivers just seemed like he'd be fun to play with and compete with.
Steve.
I played for Pop for 4 years, and I'd want to play for him again if I went back. Phenomenal coach. Every day is a challenge. Every day makes you work, but every day is fun. He's an amazing coach.
You can come back and play. Shaq gonna come back and play.
Where in Mexico?
That's right, three.
And the last answer belongs to the ever coachable Charles Barkley.
You know what? I got to say George Karl. I mean, obviously, I got great respect for Pop and Doc Rivers, but George Karl, his longevity, I just, going back to Seattle, playing against him in a couple of big series, I would love to play for George Karl.
Wonderful answers to wrap it up for this edition of Open Court. We will see you again next time.